All right, let's talk about transfer acceleration. So from now onward, whatever the topics we'll be covering, so we'll be covering transfer acceleration, encryption, metadata attacks, system to list, and many more. These are all the properties of your S3 buckets or S3 objects, right? So we'll be having the detailed discussions on each features of your S3, or we'll be having the detailed discussions of properties of S3. Right? So ultimately, we need to store the data on some buckets. On top of it, we will be uploading our data as objects, and both buckets and objects are directly proportional, directly connected to each other. Right? Now, let us start with our transfer acceleration. So transfer acceleration is a kind of a feature, or it's a service which is available in S3, which will help us to copy the data, which will help us to upload the data in a very fast manner compared to the normal traditional way of uploading your data. For example, we will create a bucket, and we'll be uploading some huge file as some objects. And if the object size is very big, definitely we see some sort of latency, but we may not come across in a normal human being eye, right? So probably it may take a second, but in real time, your particular upload is taking a time of second. That is also big challenge, right? Each and everything are upload and download, whatever the transactions we do, everything that has to completed within fraction of seconds only. Probably it will be in terms of milliseconds or microseconds or nanoseconds, right? So due to some reasons, if your data is very much big, and anyhow we have our limitations which do not exceed 5 terabytes, that even when we are trying to upload 5 terabyte or 4 TB of data as an object, and definitely we see some sort of latency because we'll be dealing with huge amount of data, huge amount of, or will be dealing with big objects. What could be the reason? So these can be reasons. The reasons can be like maybe my network bandwidth or my internet facility which I'm trying to upload. Currently, I'm in Bangalore, and if I have to, let's say I have created a bucket in North Virginia, which is in US, and I'm sitting here, I'm sitting in Bangalore, and I want to upload a huge object to a bucket which is available in North Virginia region, which is in US, right? Which is there are thousands of miles from Bangalore to North Virginia region, and definitely there is a possibility of having a network issues or internet issues in between. This is quite common, right? It is possible, right? So in that case, wherever we see these kind of issues, which means whenever we see a huge data or huge object, we want to upload it on some buckets which are in a very far distance, and we don't really follow the traditional way of uploading our objects as we discussed in the earlier sessions. Instead, we will make use of some uh, features of S3 called transfer acceleration, right? So with the help of this transfer acceleration, we can increase or we can speed up our data transfer or our uploading our objects from 50 to 500%. We can think of the efficiency, right? Let's say, so it is thousand, it is five, 500 or 50 times more than your traditional way of uploading. So, for example, in a normal way of uploading, if it is taking 1 second, then it does, with the help of transfer acceleration, if we use these options, then we'll be able to complete them in terms of milliseconds, right? So this is one of the features we have in S3. Let's take an example. Let's say I'm the customer, I'm the end user, I'm in India, and my bucket is in USA region, and which is very far in distance. And If I'm trying to upload a heavy object and there is some network fluctuation, again, end user need to start again, right? So which means if there are any network issues which I'm facing from my end, again I need to, if that particular upload fails, then I need to go back and I need to upload my that particular object, right? And during that period of time, we see something called as latency, right? So these things, as a AWS solution architect, you should understand and you should evaluate the object features and you should recommend to your customers. So it is so if you are going with this kind of objects, then this is not a good way to upload your objects. So instead, we should incorporate transfer acceleration. Why do we need to discuss all those things with the customers, instead of taking your own decision? Because if we include this option, transfer acceleration, it will be, again, it is charge based. So there will be additional charges will be applied in order to make use of this feature, right? So you need to understand thoroughly, and afterwards you should make a decision and you should convey to your customer. Okay. Now, how exactly this transfer acceleration works? So we were saying definitely it does take care of uploading your objects in a very faster way compared to your normal traditional way of uploading your objects. So here we can achieve 50 to 500 percentage of improvement or kind of a faster mechanism compared to our traditional way of uploading of our objects. Okay. Now we have something called as edge locations. Edge locations are nothing but, okay. So let's say we have some regions, right? So as of now, we have a data center, a collection of data centers. Again, we call them as availability zones, and particular AZs and a group of AZs will be a group of AZs or availability zones grouped as a availability zone. Sorry, or edge location. Okay, let's put it in this way. Let's say I have created a bucket in North Virginia. Okay, or let's say I have created a bucket in Mumbai. Please understand, I have created a bucket in Mumbai region and I am sitting in Bangalore, right? And if I make use of this transfer acceleration, if I make use of this transfer acceleration, I will not be uploading my data onto the bucket which is available on Mumbai region directly. Please understand. Let's say I'm the user, I'm sitting here and I want to upload a data or I want to upload some objects which where this particular bucket is located in Mumbai region. I'm in Bangalore. Then the traditional way of uploading our object is, so we will not be using any intermediate center. Instead, we will be directly putting the data on this particular bucket. But with the help of this transfer acceleration, we have something called as edge locations. We have something called as edge locations. So across the globe, we have 218 plus edge locations. So which means, so which sit, very much near or it does maintain some distance from the data center. Please understand, guys. Whenever I talk about edge locations, so these edge locations, so will this will be a kind of a separate data, kind of a separate center, right? Which will be maintained by keeping some distance from your data center. For example, your data center, whatever the Mumbai region we have selected, right? So if your bucket is in probably if that bucket is created in Mumbai region, and probably let's say this is the center of your Mumbai, and probably around 100 up to 200 kilometers of distance, we if there will be something called as edge location, which is near to your uh, Mumbai region. So similarly, if your bucket is created in North Virginia region, so somewhere near to that, or there will be one edge location which will be created. So what will happen with the help of this transfer acceleration, when we upload any object, so it will not directly store under this bucket. Instead, it does find the nearest available edge location, right? So our job is to just in the background we'll just upload the object. But I mean, so as an end user, we'll just upload the object. But in background, w- if we use transfer acceleration, this particular object gets stored under edge location, and from edge location to your actual bucket, AWS will use their own internet. Please understand. From edge location to your bucket, AWS will use their own internet, and it does transfer the data to this bucket. So this is the reason where we see the upload of your objects to a particular bucket become very much faster compared to your the normal way of uploading your object. Any questions here? Any questions? Please confirm.
No, sir.
So let's look into these options. So what is Amazon? So I'm trying to show these are the global edge network which have captured the same thing, in your presentation. So the blue one here you see, right? So these are all edge locations, right? And if you see this color, what this is, this is multiple edge locations. We see purple color. So this is a multiple edge location. So which means this will be the cluster of edge locations. And when you see the yellow one, it is called as regional edge caches. What do you mean by cache? So it does, I mean, cache your data. If it is frequently accessible one, then it does maintain some cache. Again, it's a storage part, and it will speed up our data accessing, right? So, as I mentioned, so we have 200 plus edge location across world, and more than 12 uh, regional edge locations as well. See, if you come to, yeah, this is a global infrastructure which is showing here. You can see here in India, so we have we have one edge locations, and we have two multiple edge locations. Correct? So here you can see. So if with the help of this transfer acceleration, so we will not be directly uploading our object onto the bucket. Instead, we'll find the nearest edge location, and we'll just pass this particular object to this edge location. And from here to this bucket, AWS will take care of the transferring your data with the help of their internet. So they don't rely on our internet, right? So see, these are, if you come to North America, you can see Washington DC, Chicago, New York, right? Atlanta. So these are the different edge locations we see. And if you come to Europe, these are the edge locations we see. And if you see Asia, you can see these many edge locations, right? So basically, edge locations kind of interfaces where which will receive the data from the end user, and once edge location will have the data, it will make use of the internet which is provided by Amazon itself, and which will transfer the data to your S3 bucket, right? So each edge location, right? Each edge location, whatever we are seeing, are called cloud front. Please understand. each edge locations are called cloud front. So which means whatever the edge locations we see here, these are also called as cloud front. Okay. Any questions?
Naveen, one question is the edge location is same like a data center.
It is not a data center. It's kind of an exchange data center, kind of an exchange center. So it will not store the data immediately, right? I mean, so it probably we can try to relate to in a computer world, in a computer world, we can correlate with RAM, random access memory. So it's a temporary memory, right? So right, in I know it's a primary memory, so which will be dealing with your initial data first, and once it receives the data, it will just pass on to your hard disk to a secondary device. So similarly, edge location will just kind of a mediator, which will just receive those information and which will make use of Internet of Amazon, and it does store it on your bucket, which is available. I mean, which is created under some data center. But this is not a data center. It's kind of, I think it's kind of an exchange where we'll have some facility. Definitely, it will not store the data here, which has got some facility, which will make use of the internet of Amazon, and it will store back to your bucket.
Okay, Naveen, thank
Okay. See that, so probably we'll not be seeing any differences as such, but I'll show you how it works, right? So, definitely, as I was saying, these are chargeable services. So you should discuss with your, client or your lead before actually implementing or before actually suggesting this kind of solution. So let us create a bucket. So let's say signing and I'm creating North Virginia region, and I'm enabling access control list. What else? So I'm just unblocking this option, and I acknowledge that, and later I'm clicking on create bucket. So what's the steps we have here? Okay, so on the bucket level, we need to enable this property as transfer acceleration. So just come, yeah, I'm into a bucket, and I click on properties, and under properties, I should be seeing an option called transfer acceleration. So by default, this feature is disabled, and click on edit and just enable it. Please see here, you can see one information. Use the accelerated endpoint for faster data transfer, which will incur an additional fee. Which means if you enable this one, then there will be some sort of additional charges will apply. Right? So just enable, and let me click on save. I've enabled it. So it is normal way where we upload our data. So see, I'm in Bangalore, right? And have already created a bucket in North Virginia region, right? And now I'm planning to upload some image. Now it should give no your should grant public read access to your object. So this is normal way of uploading. Everything would remain same, but the thing is we have enabled it, right? So now once I click on upload, how exactly it is working here. So so this is the edge location which is which is in US. So we are not directly uploading the data onto this bucket. So instead, we AWS will find the nearest edge location to me, not on the bucket. Please understand. If I'm in Bangalore, right, then definitely I see one edge location in Mumbai, correct? So the first data transfer, the first upload will happen to the Mumbai edge location, and from Mumbai edge location, it will take care of uploading our data transfer from Mumbai edge location with the help of Amazon Internet, and it is stored to your the bucket which is in North Virginia. Let's say if you are in Mumbai, or let's say if you are somewhere in North India, then the nearest edge location would be New Delhi, right? Then your data will get, will transfer to this New Delhi edge locations, and from New Delhi edge location, with the help of the internet of Amazon, it will store the data uh, on the bucket which is in North Virginia region, right? So this is how it works. So if you want to see that, so you have to access your object, select your object URL and hit it. So you'll be able to see. So basically, so we are just uploading the data in terms of KPI, right? So we'll not be able to see much difference, but please understand if you're no, if you are dealing with very huge objects, then you must go with this particular option. Okay. All right. So let me empty this bucket. So just let me try to delete this one. Now I've just deleted all the objects. Now I'm trying to delete a bucket.